Good morning, everybody. How the devil are we? It's Sunday morning. Is he still here? Is he still in charge at this club? I'll tell you, I'm going to go to church today as well. It's Leicester till I die. It's Sunday morning. Crystal Palace played Leicester yesterday in a 0-0 draw. This is the review show. Good morning.
It's time! Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts. Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right. Yeah, welcome along, Leicester Till I Die TV. Like I say, thank you for joining us. We are looking at yesterday's match. Let us know your thoughts on it. A draw? Good performance? It was a poor Palace side. And it makes me wonder if we'd have played somebody maybe higher up the table. And I'm not talking, the top six, but, had we played, Bournemouth again, followed one of those teams, would we have got away with that? I don't think so. Let's have a look at some comments before we go any further. We are saying, Terry says, can't make the show today due to the heat. You in South Africa or something, mate? I'm presuming that might be a typo or a spell check. Heat. Yes. Unless you got your head in the oven. After Maddison's dive in the eyes of the ref and in front of Southgate, is this World Cup squad chances blown? Have a good show, guys. Thank you, Terry. I was going to come on to that later, but let me know your thoughts. Was it a dive? Was it a penalty? I think he was definitely caught by the look of it, but like I say, I haven't watched much of the day. So let me know your thoughts on it. Douglas is in. Good morning, Douglas. The gentleman who was forced to watch that game with me yesterday afternoon, whenever it was. How the devil are you? Not very well by the look of it. Feeling slightly under the weather. Well, I hope you feel better soon, mate. Maybe Liverpool will cheer you up later against Manchester City. Glenwell's in. Thank you for an entertaining match. I guess from a neutral's point of view, it could be classed as that. I don't know. I think from a, it's frustrating. Let's frustrating. Fumes in Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I think he was caught, but I think he made the most of it. Yes, he did. He was caught. Had he not made the most of it, who knows? But whether you make the most of it or not, if you are caught, is it not a penalty? But, with the way VAR's been this weekend, again, give monkeys enough typewriters and they'll type out the full works of Shakespeare or something like that, the saying goes. Maybe it's them saying monkeys in charge of VAR. we all going on a championship tour. You and me, mate. Hey, do you want to share a car? Share the petrol costs? Oh, Munzy's in asking the same question. No, Munzy. No, not yet. Look, let's start by saying, and Genwin's just come in. We'll just do this last comment for the time being. I don't know anymore, and I'm always in the side that you always try to stay up. You do. You've obviously got to try to stay up, but it's the way you try. Look, let's we're gonna have a look at Brendan Rodgers' press conference in a second. But this is Leicester Till I Die on your favourite podcast platform. If you are listening, thank you for lending me your ears. Available all over social media, and of course, this is the main one, the Leicester Till I Die channel. Don't forget as well, radio station mixcloud.com. That's all one word, mixcloud.com/Leicester Till I Die Radio. This is where you can find us.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform
Or ask your smart speaker.
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die. Broadcasting live worldwide.
Broadcasting live from Trump Towers.
Wait a minute.
Now, hear this.
I'm Donald Trump, and this is not fake news. It is Leicester Till I Die Radio, the ultimate blend of sport and music.
I mean, if you're going to get Donald Trump to... I don't know, though. Joe Biden... yeah, neither of them, really. Neither of them you'd want promoting your channel. Let's have a look at what Rodgers had to say. It's about 3 minutes long. Let's see. I've not seen this yet, so this could be interesting.
Brendan, a point after the 0-0 draw at Crystal Palace. What's your assessment of the game?
Well, I thought in terms of performance-wise, it was a good performance. We were solid in the defending. I think we restricted a really good team to one opportunity, and Danny makes a really good save. Apart from that, we didn't give away much. We worked the ball really well into that attacking third of the pitch at times, created some opportunities, and we just failed to make that count. So yeah, performance-wise, it was a good performance. But of course, you want to win the game, especially at home.
Yeah, Danny Wards, you mentioned there, only one thing to do, but it was a terrific save. And had it not been, it might have been a Palace victory, mightn't it?
Yeah, but that's why he's there. He's there for his concentration and to to make those saves. Odson's a very talented player. He comes off the back line and gets turned, and when he's in those positions, I've had him for a number of years myself, so I know his quality when he arrives there. So Danny done well to make the save. But apart from that, we were solid defensively, pressed the game really well on a hot day. I thought first half we probably gave them a little bit too much room. That we Anderson was able to split up the game and then put them into the final third. But once we addressed that, we started well pressing them, dropped off a bit, and at half time we reinforced that, and that seemed to help us in the second half.
Was there any frustration that you couldn't quite make the final pass or really make Vicente Guaita have a really good save to make?
Yeah, it's always a frustration. That was, as I said before, Chris, we arrived into good areas in the field, and then it's all about that little bit of quality and that bit of individual talent and combination play that can get you in. So today we just weren't able to do that. But the players' effort was there, the commitment was there in the game. They fought, they gave everything. Like I said, against a good side, and but we just didn't have that extra bit to get the goal.
Clean sheet without captain Johnny Evans. What's the latest with him, first of all?
Yeah, he just had a slight rupture on his calf, so today was obviously he wasn't available for. We just have to see for Thursday. He'll be doubtful for Thursday, but we'll see how he reacts over the next couple of days.
And therefore, to keep a clean sheet without him and to have Danny Lamarty and Wout Fass together, that must be a big plus in today. Yeah.
Centre halves is always about the combination, and the two guys work really well. But when you keep a clean sheet, it's about the collective. I thought the guys at the front of the pitch pressed it really well, and then that gives a real good solid base to build from. So yeah, I thought as a team, the players' organisation and effort was great.
And just finally, big game now here on Thursday night. That is going to be hopefully an excellent atmosphere, another opportunity to get another win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. We're here to win games. We set the team up to go and play and win. And like I say, we haven't quite managed that. But 2 clean sheets in the last 3 games is progress for us. We just need to find that extra bit of quality in the final third, and we can do that on Thursday. That'll allow us to get a victory, hopefully.
You can tell he's been interviewed by the club, can't you? I mean, I've just written a few things down here, which we'll go through, but you can tell, I just like, did you see this? I mean, how bad are things, right? Surely, is anybody at the club got a brain at the moment? Because you're looking at that and going like, well, okay, you've had to actually ban anybody taking anything into the stadium that is bigger than an A4 piece of paper size. So if you're taking a bag in with shopping, with food, with a drink or whatever, because let's face it, it's bloody expensive there, it's got to be smaller than an A4 size. Or apparently it wasn't going to be allowed in. Apparently security wasn't that good. Also, the club, they are a club that is having to ban birthday messages. Now, they're banning birthday messages, and they are saying, the famous Brendan Out and Zach Rogers. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. But they're having to ban things because of that. So little Johnny, whose 3rd birthday it was yesterday, couldn't get a message up because the club, a bit like Custer at The Last Stand, encircling themselves, trying to defend themselves. I mean, come on, Leicester City. I mean, this is the actions, no disrespect, this is the actions of a non-league 10th tier club, not a so-called well-run Premier League club that everybody's looking to for examples. We are going to lose the legacy that we have in place at the club. Let's go through a few more messages. We did the championship. There we go. I don't know anymore. I'm always in the side that you're the truth. We mentioned that one. Leicester, morning. What the happened? Ward made a good save. But still, best player yesterday was Face. I agree. I mean, what I liked about Face was no nonsense again. He saw the ball. He just hoofed it. He didn't care where it went. As long as it went away from the defence, he hoofed it. I'm sure Rodgers will train that out of him, though. I'll tell you what, though, it could be 3+ managers sacking this season. And there's been more than that already, hasn't there? FaZe was man of the match. Yes, he was. Very true. FaZe was great. Yeah. You will come back to that later, Leicester. Solid in defending, but I do have to point out it was a poor Palace side. Palace could have scored as well, but they didn't create any chances from their midfield. Agree. And that's the point I'm going to be making again, Will. Totally agree. He didn't look at... Well, I mean, the thing is with Top, and I said this a few weeks ago, and I kind of got shot down a little bit, and it wasn't... I'm not criticising Top, because at the end of the day, let's face it, what him and his family have gone through for this club is over and above. So let's just say that from the start. Problem is, as with managers, players, etc., this, well, he's got money in the bank. It doesn't stand up 3 seasons later. You've got to look. This is the present. Football is about the current situation. And I am worried the way things are going, that we are losing, or Top is going to lose the legacy that his father and himself put in. His father lost his life following and supporting this club. That is more than you could ever ask for. And look at what they've done for the club. Look at what they've done. But if we end up in the third division, is that going to be remembered? Well, back in the day, Yeah, I just think we change the narrative to suit the story, don't we? We really, really do. Facebook user, good morning. Stick your name on the end so we can give you a shout out. I get fed up with Rogers telling us we watched something different to him. I was just thinking that. Don't know what game you were at, mate. But without Madison and Evans on Thursday, we might lose. But don't forget Faze. Yeah, like I say, I do like him. Amati and Vase and Castagna managed to keep Zahara at bay. They did. Doug, if you want to pop on, you watch the match with me, give me your thoughts. You're more than welcome. Daddy Faye. I love the way these names suddenly appear. I don't like Brendan Rodgers anymore. Top needs to wake up, to be fair, and sack Brendan. What if Top did a January masterclass and signed Bernardo? January, though, we need to sort it out before January. We've got 4 weeks off for the World Cup. We wasted 2 weeks of the international break. Top, do not waste the 4 weeks of the World Cup and sit with your finger up your arse doing nothing. Who was your best man in the forward line that match? Barnes was poor. Yeah, I don't know, Barnes. I just don't know. He flatters to deceive. He really does. I'm starting to fall out with Top and Brendan. No offence. Well, none taken, mate. Not just the club quiz, but the community as well. Exactly. And that could all disappear. If Vichai was here, he wouldn't have gone. We would have gone in a beat. You see, I'm not so sure because Top was the one that wanted Pearson gone that time. I always thought it was the other way around, but it was Top that wanted Pearson gone, and it was Vichai that said no, we're sticking with him. So who knows? I mean, it's all ifs, buts, maybe. We can never say that. Hope you're drinking lots of fluids, Chris. It looks hot there. What's all we going on about the heat and the hot? Roger said about the heat yesterday. Am I barred from posting? I've no idea what you're on about, but if you were, I wouldn't be reading that out now, would I? Owen, Top is a legend, but still not as good as his dad. Yeah. Well, I am worried about their legacy. He's here, the man, the myth, the oversleeper. I've woken him up.
Oh, mate, I've got some stories to tell you off stream as to why I overslept, but
No,
that's you'll understand when I tell you afterwards. But oh god,
yeah, no, it's okay, mate. No worries.
Sorry, I'll tell you why I overslept. I watched the highlight the full 90 minutes again of the Leicester Crystal Palace game and put back to sleep.
Yeah, well, I can't argue with that.
But never one side down. I woke up in a Leicester shirt, so does that save me brownie points?
Yeah, that gets you a couple back. That gets you a couple back.
And I don't know why.
I've just had a thought now.
Oh,
I don't know if you're old enough to remember David Mellor.
Oh, name rings a bell. I don't know.
He was the Conservative minister for whatever. And to be honest with you, I don't count myself as being good looking.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, and he was exposed by this model he was making love to, and apparently he made love to her in a Chelsea top.
I cannot confirm or deny that yet. Out of my loins.
Owen says here, heat is the shittest excuse ever. I don't know what this heat, bloody hell. What is annoying is that we have the players to be top 10. Exactly. What are your thoughts on Danny Ford and Marty and Daddy Face? I miss Evans. I miss Pierre and Soyuncu too, indeed. Brad, is Top at risk of ruining the... I know I've asked you this before, but I'll ask you every week until you agree with me. Seriously, I mean, the legacy they've got at this club is great, but we all know how fickle fans are. And if we are, in 5 years' time, sat at the bottom of League One, will the legacy have disappeared?
It won't ever disappear. It will just unfortunately become known as it'll be known as Vishai's the rise and fall of the Leicester owners. That's what it would become. It becomes a tragic Netflix documentary like Arsenal or Spurs, because that's what the media wait for as well. As much as they love what their owners do, they'll love to tell the tale and spin it that it was Leicester that the problem and not the owners, or something daft like that. And you know what they're like. I hope it doesn't. I mean, I did notice yesterday on BT Sport. I was actually watching the game because Vishai Top wasn't happy with what he was seeing. I will say that much. He was shaking his head. He wasn't just like a moment like missed chance. It was like this is not good what I'm seeing. I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing. And you can't really blame him to a degree, but it's just one of them. Well, time will tell. I hope he doesn't. I'm sure every Leicester fan hopes he doesn't, but that gives me bigger hope that it won't happen, because he's clearly not happy with what he's seeing. But he will if this goes wrong for him. But any owner would get that eventually. The best as they are, if they took the team down 3 divisions and they'd say you're running it, what's going wrong?
It's difficult to sort of take what is serious criticism and take what is us fans, grabbing at straws, if you like. But I saw somebody complaining that the players were laughing and joking in the tunnel before they came out. I mean, I've been in sales and all my life, and as bad a day as I'm having for sales, if you can't have a laugh and a joke, what do they expect? I mean, to me, just for that, just get a life. Just get a life. You know what I mean? They're allowed to laugh and joke.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and do my best, Chris, here and play devil's advocate. I can see why some people might think negatively in that sense, thinking, how can you be laughing and joking when we're bottom of the league, which we're not, 19th. We're on the up way. Yeah, positives are coming.
Can I just say, quickly on that point, let me just find it back here, because True Red is in. I can't where it goes. And in fairness, he did put this area. We're all going on a championship tour.
Yeah, mate, we are. Run away.
And I think True and me, we're going to share a car and share the costs.
That's right. If Burnley can just stay around, we could have a reunion. It'd be like Friends, wouldn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Because if we go down, let's have a laugh and a joke, Chris. Because I'm so sick of being depressed about where we're on. Let's have a laugh and a joke. We can have a Friends reunion, couldn't we? Me, you, Dan, and Turf Moore. We'll be there like, I'll be there for you. And then whoever gets in the playoffs, we'll just hope they lose, so we can laugh at them a bit longer.
When they say about waking up hyper, I think you're
taking
too much of that coke down, mate.
The lack of sleep has done me, I tell you.
How bad is it though? And I agree with you. If you don't laugh, you'd cry. Yeah. How bad is it when a club that is a Premier League club that is looked upon as the model club for others to follow get to the point where we're not taking birthday messages? Little 3-year-old Jimmy can't have a good luck message from his granddad because and you know what? That's bigger than an A4 piece size of paper. So you can't bring that into the ground, just in case you've got any banners hidden. How how? I mean, this is the attitude you expect from a non-league or bottom of League Two sort of club that's owned by an ex-con. It's embarrassing. If I'm honest with you, I'm embarrassed.
If it is, and then normally I'd try and maybe even play devil's advocate. I can't. I don't know if. And I don't want to say anything because I'm not educated enough to know anything about their background, their history, their religion, or anything like that. Because some people just don't like that negativity around, and it's seen as a bad omen. I'm not going to intune anything, but you don't. It's just silly. I know you see that as your picture. It's like, well, they didn't do that good a job stopping them getting in either, did they?
Well, security wasn't maybe necessarily at its best, shall we say. But I
do know that Union FS can put stuff into the stadium beforehand, so maybe it was all rolled up, and that's why it wasn't seen as anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just think as a club we are falling, and it is becoming we are becoming a laughing stock in a little bit of a way, because I'm sorry. You just don't announce those sort of things, and I'm sure they can work out. If they manage to work out sort of the Brendan out, and the Zach Rogers, I'm sure they can do other things. But we didn't. I think before you came on, we just looked at the 3-minute section of the Brendan Rodgers interview. And my God, you could tell it was with LCFC TV. It was like, I know the questions I can ask and I can't ask. Just a few things Rodgers said here. Good performance. Would you agree with that?
Weirdly, I'm going to give an example, right? And I'm going to say, actually, it was because of the result. If you look at it, let's think about it. It can't have been any worse of a performance than when we got beat 6-2 and we got beat 5-2 and 4-2 and 2-2s and 2-1. Look, was it brilliant? No. Could it cure your insomnia? I thought it did, apparently not, but it probably would most other people. But we haven't. When was the last? We thought Forest was a fluke. We're 10 games into the season, and somehow we've got 2 clean sheets. And did anyone think the next point was going to be that pretty? I certainly didn't see it happening. The 0-0. Yeah. I don't think it's as bad as people think. I just think it really painted the picture of how bad these players are with their confidence right now. I think the fight's still there. Clearly, you can see it because of the performance at the back, but it was still a meh.
I mean, again, when I'm talking about how far as a club we have dropped, is that we are saying, we're happy with the point against Palace.
See, that's the thing, kind of double back on what I say, but I kind of backhand myself here. No, you're not happy with a point. And I even said, I think when you put the tweet out, it just means now the Leeds is definitely a must win. You have to win it because the draw's not really good enough. But if we go and beat Leeds 1-0 and it's a scrappy game and it's as awful as what we've just seen, but we actually get a goal this time, and then we go to Wolves and do a 0-0 there, or because they've only scored 4 goals this season and they were lucky not to win that one. They had a penalty save. So if we can get, I don't care if it's by the skin of our teeth right now with where we are in the league, because we need this. I don't care if we get there with a 96-minute winner against Leeds. If we go to Wolves and walk out of that ground with 3 points or a point, I would say it will worth it if the performance slowly gets better. Yeah. Do you know how you say sometimes it doesn't matter about the performance tonight, it's the result? We are in that stage right now. And I will take it if it comes with 3 points against Leeds.
Yeah. And again, just tying on to that, and I agree with you. Some games it's about the performance, some games it's about the result. And at the moment, it is all about, for me, the result.
We've not been getting either, have we? So take what we can right now.
This is the thing. good opposition. This is what we said earlier. We were up against a good team. No, you're not. You're up against a team that was only 3 or 4 places above us. Stop building it up that this was a fantastic point because we were at home to Crystal Palace. Palace were something like 14th, 15th. They weren't, weren't playing Manchester City, Brenda.
No. I mean, they have got some quality players. Let's not doubt that. That Eze is fantastic. Zaha is like their Ivorian Mahrez, I guess, because when he can be asked to play, he can be very good. But when he gets ghosted like he was, and that's something we should take. We kept Zaha relatively quiet from what I saw.
Well, so, they had him at the end, so that was it all. Yeah.
But I think you saw 2 teams that are a bit low on confidence right now and not achieving what they expect with the quality they've got. And I think that's exactly what we saw in front of us yesterday, because both teams, I mean, Crystal Palace were even worse. And maybe the one thing that does concern me is that was the second team to not really press Leicester that much, and we got something from it. Forest were the same, but we were just not as intense going forward, obviously. And I think you just saw that because they are a good side, but he's in a desperate situation. So can a desperate man clutch at desperation and go, well, we got a point, and they've got, exactly like what I've just said about them. But I think the only thing is we're going to have to come up against a lot more teams that already haven't played that sit back on Leicester, because that's what Palace tried to do, and it didn't work. So.
I mean, we've gained an extra point there. We've got 5 points. We're only, I know, we're only 7 points off beating Derby's record. I'm still worried that we're not going to do that, But hey, as I say, you have to laugh about these things. Good defending, Brendan said. It's again. This was Palace. So yes, the defending looked good. Face was man of the match for most people, and I noticed with him, sorry,
he's quality. Sorry.
Yeah, he is. But he is. I didn't. I mean, well, defenders. One of the defenders' main jobs is to clear the ball.
Yeah,
get the ball out of this area. And when it fell to him, I noticed quite a few times, and he was on his left foot, because he was on the left side yesterday. He was just booting it upfield.
Yeah, I loved it, mate. I was sat there. Yeah, I loved it. I love to see it, because we have been the makers of our own downfall, and it has come. And a lot of our goals we have conceded have been in that transition stage between our back line and still just being in our own half, where we lose the ball, we give it away, and keep the pressure on us. My dad had a chuckle. He watched it next to me because he said, I haven't heard the expression years, but I went, just oof it at one point, and he did. And he got the ball and he oofed it upfield. I was like, good, because right now the least pressure we can put on our back line and put on Danny Ward, the better their confidence are. It's a slow process of psychologically getting confidence, and Crystal Palace or not, I don't give a stuff at this moment. We didn't concede. We got a point. It was ugly. It was bad to watch, but if it gets better, that's all we can hope.
I do feel that Brendan will actually train that out of him, if you like. Take it down and pass it a little bit to the guy on the left that's being marked by 2 Palace players.
But he's in a desperate situation, so he's going to for all the times he's had to deal with the waves of pressure and emotions, any sort of positive clean sheet, the way he's going to absolutely plaster this, because of the situation where it is, we didn't concede a goal. Danny Ward made some great saves. Amati played and we didn't concede. We didn't lose the game. Brilliant. Okay, it wasn't best. We can work on that, but that's got to give him confidence. And he's going to use that. Any manager, desperate or good, is going to use any good press to their advantage and try and or good pickets from things as much as possible, clutching at straws as best they can.
Hot day, blaming the hot day. I mean, we've heard excuses this season.
I know. I'm hot. I'm crazy wearing this.
Does he ever think what he is saying? The guy is a bullshitter. And I'm sorry, I know I called him Brendan Bellend, and that still does apply, but you got Brenda Bullshitter as well, because
Right.
he's blamed the Heat he blamed the Heat in the first game against Arsenal Brentford back in August, right? That's in the summer. I kind of get it, but of course he only used 2 of the 5 substitutes. He blamed the fact that we were a young team, but we lost to the youngest team ever fielded in the Premier League, which was Southampton. And now he's blaming the Heat in October, for God's sake.
And that did baffle me. That baffled me quite a bit, actually, because I was like, he does know it's October, and he is aware that it's like, what was it, maybe 16 degrees at best. Yeah, so
You know when we watch. Sorry to interrupt, but you know when we watch the press conferences,
yeah,
and we say about we're pleased if a really incisive question is asked. But if he says that at his press conference, why isn't one of the journos sat there going, hang on a minute, hang on, just wind back a little bit. Did you just say the Heat, Brendan?
Yeah. Well, maybe, yeah.
I'm putting him on the spot and going like, seriously?
Well, I think most people would. I think your most honest result would have been, when you say heat, what does it mean by that? Because it was only 16 degrees today. It isn't exactly what you'd call summer weather. And then he's not got an answer for it. He's going to have one. Because that's a very weird statement to make.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised, really, should we?
I thought we had Jurgen Klopp as our manager for a minute.
I thought we had Fred Bassett or whatever he was called. But maybe he could have done a better job. Look, Jim White from the Telegraph, not that Jim White, the Telegraph's Jim White. Just want to pick a few bits out of his report. Gary Lineker observed last weekend that Leicester had returned to type. Their brief flurry as a top 6 side winning the league in the FA Cup have been replaced by a scramble against relegation that's all too familiar for supporters of a long memory. Very true. And then when you look at the DJ at the end, not that the DJ's efforts entirely protected Brendan Rodgers from the ire of the crowd. "We went Rodgers out" was the cry that echoed around the King Power Stadium at the final whistle. Again, a club that is saying to the DJ, look, play the music a bit louder at the end, will you?
Yeah. Again, it's playground semantics by the club, and that's a little bit like, I don't know how to react to it because it's so weird and so childish. But again, you don't know. It could be another reason they might not like it to be. They don't like having to see the negative message, and I'm around the ground for some other reason. I don't know. I don't know their background or religion, like I said, because some religions can be like that. And I don't think they have monks, so I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the hidden reason behind it, that they're trying not to have the negativity within the ground. But I think when it's still awkward, isn't it? When you're basically denying freedom of speech. Some people are making it sound like
I totally agree. I just think it is bad when you're having to try and hide that sort of thing. But let's just catch up with some comments here. I mean, Amarty. Dak said, I love that. I love some of the names these people are coming up with. I really do. Dak. What are your thoughts? Well, Danny, we've covered Danny Ward enough times. Again, it was hard to say because he didn't have many shots against him.
I know, but he kept a clean sheet. That's still not bad for like the worst goalkeeper every Leicester fan's ever seen, apparently.
He may. I mean, let's just have a look at that. And I know you don't like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's just have a look at the stats here. We'll just take Daka's comment off there. 53% possession, 14 shots. Now, in fairness, I'd be happy with that as a Premier League game, that we had 14 shots. 5 on target. Yeah, maybe that needs to be improved. 9 corners. But as the guy from the Daily Mail said, Joe Bernstein, in Leicester's defence, Palace goalkeeper Vincent Guatia was man of the match. And when the opposition goalkeeper's man of the match, then
I think it's more the fact that he did face more than Ward, albeit. I mean, not albeit though. It wasn't by much, was it? Really, from either side in terms of shots on target. But at the end of the day, I'm going to sit here and say when he has a defence in front of him that makes his day easier, that save at the bottom left, if that sneaks in, we're all fuming, we're all gutted, we're all sat here talking a whole different game. So you know what, you've been on his back. Let's just say, okay, fair play, one performance, like I do with Perez. If I come on here when Perez has a good performance and say it, he made that save, Chris. We all know if he doesn't make that save after that, fans are fuming that we've lost it.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think when Perez had a good game, but never mind.
No. I know I was being fictional there, but if it was to happen,
yeah. I just quickly, we will get to people's comments after this last question for you. But the guy said there, Amate played on the right of the two centre backs this game rather than on the left. I got a message off David Stroke Harry during the game saying 7 minutes in and Amate's made his first mistake. It kind of so we're looking for these mistakes now, but I don't think he was too bad yesterday.
No,
he wasn't up against much, in fairness.
No, but he has. Let's face it, our defence hasn't been up against much sometimes, and we've creaked under the pressure.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
So maybe it was their their tempo that helped make it easier. But if the opposition are going to make it easier for you, I'm all for it because these lads need anything to get their confidence up. And I'm going to keep saying that because that's exactly where we're at. You saw that in the performance, the shaky passing, the indifferent. Sometimes they couldn't decide to shoot or pass. That little bit of self doubt was there, and that might just help. In terms of that, going, because they're trying not to make mistakes, and that's actually in inverted probably causing mistakes.
Yeah.
But he got away with a few, but all round he did his job. So again, I hope he's got a little bit of a slap from it.
This is it. You have to take the fact that yes, okay, Danny Ward. As much as we said that Everson, everybody that's calling for Everson will look at what the game is playing. You take what you can from these games, and as a goalkeeper, if I'd kept a clean sheet under any circumstances, I would be happy. And you've got to look at that defence and say, rightly, wrongly, good game, didn't have much to do, blah blah. Well, they actually kept Zaha quiet all game.
Yeah.
Eduardo, you knew he was up for getting a goal against us because we're Leicester. That's how these things work. Kept him quiet. Both of them taken off. Their two main strikers were both taken off. So the defence were doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, minus the Forest game, they've not got much right all season. Some halves they have, but throughout the game, over the majority, they've been a bit of a mess. And I am going to give credit to the set piece coach because I think he's had an influence on that, because while Leicester still pass it side to side, I did note that 3 seems to be the magic number for Leicester in terms of how they defend, because they've gone back to that high line, but Castagne or Justin, dependent, sits in to sort of make it a 3-man defence when we've got the ball. And whilst it's negative, is that means someone like Justin and Castagne isn't as far up as the pitch we'd like him. It clearly worked, and he does that. And the only reason I say I give the set piece coach that is because we've actually used that in our defending when there's a free kick in a dangerous area and vice versa. We're starting to use that a bit more.
I've always agreed that we needed a set piece coach. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was one of the Sky pundits, but it was definitely a pundit said you shouldn't need a set piece. I don't think he was talking about Leicester, but you shouldn't need a set piece coach if you've got a defensive coach.
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe that hiring has answered its own question, and Brendan's just don't say anything. because, you know, but I will say that people did note that, and gutted I've been able to do one of these to analyse it because I have wanted to talk about the improvements from set pieces in terms of attacking them because I can see it on the pitch.
We won't be able to for the next. I mean, it's totally the actual schedule for Leicester till I die this week is going out the window. Sorry?
It's book solid, isn't it?
We've got a midweek game. We've got a weekend. There'll be no post match because it's a Thursday night show, so the post match will just run on to the end of the watch along. Then there's no preview for the Wolves game because we've got all the lead stuff midweek. Oh God, bring on the World Cup and we can have a break. All right, I need to go through
that one, mate.
Yeah, thank you, mate. You have trouble with one show.
I know.
I'm going to read this one out. I did put it up earlier. Morning all, and just tuned in to hear Jesus has arisen from his slumber. Too busy spreading the love last night. Yes. Morning, guys. Didn't see the game yesterday. Only the highlights. Leicester look the better team. Surely you will come good again soon. I mean, this is a lot of non-Leicester fans look at us and seem to they seem to have more confidence in us than we do.
Yeah, but I suppose we've been like that, haven't we? We've looked on it from the outside looking in, and from what we can see, that there's improvements. When you're doing bad, everything bad, it just seems to happen more and more than you notice it. And you said that not so long ago, and that is really the case. Yeah. Sometimes when you're a fan that's not watching it, you go, "Oh, they beat Forest. They were lucky against Bournemouth, who are still undefeated, by the way." It says another manager gone to the Terminator of football right now, Gary O'Neill. And then, maybe they're going, well, they got 4 points out of 9. It's not ideal, but where they are, that's, they're seeing it as an improvement. So,
No, it does. And like you say, all the things that were going wrong in the summer, which would normally be little, not particularly. But like the visa problem and everything, it suddenly gets highlighted because everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
Very quickly, don't want to get into a discussion about it, but poor Southampton, they lose what supposedly is a good head of recruitment because they made us wait for him. They finally replaced him. Now he's buggered off to Chelsea. Oh, you got a feel for Southampton. Andrew says, this is on about the legacy, won't disappear, just become tarnished. A good point, Andrew. Keeper 2011, good morning to you. I don't know what's happened to Leicester. Top is mad. Brendan is making up some of the worst excuses ever, and the players don't look bothered. I don't know about Top being mad, but Brendan, yes, I agree with you. But I think Brendan, the fact that the players don't look bothered has to be down to the manager. I'm sorry, that's what he's paid for. I heard Van der Beek and Drakovic will join for January. I've still not seen one story that's been linking Drakovic with us. It seems to be one of these Facebook myths that somebody's posted somewhere from a fan channel with absolutely no foundation at all. I just haven't seen it. And Van der Beek, 40 million. We're not going to pay 40 million for him, and that's what they're wanting. So, we discussed this on Friday. Go back and have a check of it, keeper, about Casper coming back. We had a little bit of not a little bit. It was quite a long discussion about whether we would take Casper back or not. Top looked more mad than me when I lose a fortnight game. Good. It shows he's got passion. Got passion. Andrew says a lot of fans went to watch Colville Town yesterday. Was it not full then, Anthony? 2,000 tickets still left for Leeds. Maybe this is if it starts hitting people like Top and the club in the pocket, that's another thing they're going to have to look at, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, 2,000 left for a Thursday night game. That's not too bad. I mean, it's a random Thursday, and it's 8:15.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's actually not bad. The club won't see anything into that. If there's only 2,000 left to fill that stadium, and you say Leeds have got full capacity, it's actually not that bad.
No. How can we beat Forest 4-0 and suddenly go bad again? I think it's just the fact that Forest were that bad.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, no, carry on, mate.
No, I was going to say, yeah, and there was similarities by the way Forest and Crystal Palace went about it. And like I said, had we been a bit more free-flowing and fluent, and by that, had we maybe, I don't know, beat Bournemouth, we still had the confidence of the Forest game, I think we would have won yesterday the way Crystal Palace played. But that just was just showing how quickly our confidence can get reshot to pieces. So,
yeah. Keeper keeps saying we could play it okay at home. Away is our weakness. Vincent Kompany's replacement, he's doing decent in the Championship. He's got Burnley top. Burnley top, sat atop the as Dan had great pleasure in messaging me yesterday. You know, one of those questions where it draws you in, so you think you've got to ask how the team did.
Yeah.
But no, good luck, Dan. Enjoy it, mate. You deserve a bit of good news down there. Leicester down, Burnley up. You'll be like passing strangers in the night. Foxy, what is it about Leicester? My bloody cousin, your bloody cousin turned 4 yesterday and had to celebrate it with a loss. Oh, who was he following then? Who was he following? Because we drew. Now he says he wants Brendan out, but that poster is bloody ridiculous. Is it? I mean, what's the difference? Booing at the end, and in fairness to the crowd, they did not boo during the match that I know of, or putting a poster up. And I love the fact that it was just behind where Brendan stands. So, yeah. Palace were poor, which made us look better than we are. Do you remember last season? And we're talking about Graham Potter at Brighton.
Yeah.
And they had a really good start. And then they dropped off. And they were bottom of the form table at one point, if you remember. But then they started rising up the table again because they were beating the teams around them. That's what we're struggling to do at the moment. Apart from Forest, obviously.
Yeah. And like I said, we need every bit of fortune to go our way. Just as we can't, determine how Leicester are going to play. But I mean us as fans can't determine how Leicester are going to go about business. No. We also can't control how Palace are set up to play their game. If that's how they thought they'd get a better result against us, that's how they're going to play. You play what's in front of you. I don't care who's good and who's bad in this game, as long as we're coming away with a positive result with it, to be honest with you right now.
Yeah. True Red, the Wolves won, unfortunately. Should have drawn with our penalty. The Wolves goalkeeper was well off his line and still didn't get taken. Is this the one I'm reading about, or I'm hearing about? Sorry, I've not read about it. I'm hearing about, and I don't know the full details, but where they were saying like the referee, a linesman, assistant referee, whatever you want to call him, VAR, assistant VAR, just didn't see it, but it should have been seen by every single one of them. I don't know that that's the incident or not, but if he's off his line,
I couldn't tell you, mate. I didn't know. I haven't seen the highlights of any other game because I was travelling back. Back to Manchester.
No. I haven't seen it, but I'm just wondering if that's the same incident. Because if a goalkeeper's off his line, true, it gets retaken. But
I'd have to watch the replay to see it. But I don't know. There's no way they can't. How it's not like you go, I didn't see it. The computer was looking out the window. It wasn't looking at the game.
Leicester Chelsea, let's take you back to that. Retaking him was off the line. Yeah. But now, you see, I think if we're going to say to goalkeepers, right, you've got to stay on the line. And that's quite right. I don't have a problem with that. Then we've got to, and I know you're going to agree with me on this because I remember the video. Then we've got to stop players doing a dance running up to the ball.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what the weird thing is? It was that way for like a season. And then they just went, nah, you can go back to being a twat taking a penalty.
Yes.
Still,
I just think, Foxy, hey Chris, it's one's degree. That's very hot and shouldn't be played, isn't it? Laughs in sarcasm. I think Brendan's also just got no chance of getting a commentating gig at Qatar as well now. Brendan's lies are like kids' lies. Again, well, not all hope is lost to you guys. Only 5 points behind Liverpool. Oh, God. When you look at it like that, oh yeah, top shows a lot of passion, but not in the way I want. Drakovic crap, I don't believe it. I think it was just one rumour that's gone viral. I just have not seen anything, you know.
No.
And yet, True says, yes, that's the one. Let me read to you, Brad. I did retweet it this morning. I want to just read this to you. Now, this is Matt Piper. Now, he's not my favourite ex-player. He works as a co-commentator for BBC Radio Leicester. He knows his stuff. I grant him that. Let's face it, he's not Gary Lineker, he's not Jerry Taggart. You know, he had a brief spell as a player. He didn't particularly, set the world alight. But he did release a book about illness, and I very much sympathise with that, having gone through the same thing. And the only time he's ever replied to a message when I've sent him is when I was asking about his book. Apart from that, he ignores totally tweets and messages that are sent to him. So I don't particularly like him a lot as a person. However, he has said here, this was his tweet from yesterday. And now, if this is what the ex-professionals is, this is what radio commentators are saying. And this is Matt Piper's manager says he still has the... Sorry, let me put my teeth in and start that again. Manager says he still has the fight and ideas to turn our fortunes around. I don't believe him. He's saying the right words, but they're that conviction. He's a man who's lost his spark. The cycle with this group is over, and if a change isn't made quickly, so might our time in the Premier League. Tough words from a co-commentator, ex-player.
Yeah, it is.
But he is hitting the nail on the head.
He isn't it? And he is. And the thing is, and I know right now it seems like it's unachievable right now, or it's very pessimistic on the outcome. But I do agree. I think even if Rodgers does get us out of this mess and we do say finish in the top 10, because right now I'd snap your hand off top 10, or if we change our name to Liverpool, it's the top 11. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, I'll tell you that. So basically, even if we got top 10, what was I saying? I'm throwing myself off of that thought because it just made it pop in my head and made me trouble. Even if we finish top 10, I think Rodgers leaves Leicester this season.
Right.
I think his time will be done at the end of this season. If he survives, obviously, and turns it around, he has to. But he will not be here past the season because I think he'll go, you know what? I'm going to leave while I've still got some decency on my record. If fans can if I can get some of the fans back on side and finish top 10 or whatever, and leave with red held a little bit higher than what it is, and I think he'll leave. I genuinely think he'll take the money then and run, as I say. I think. Yeah. A bold statement it might sound, but I don't think he'll be here for his contract. I think he'll go, cool, that's better than how I ended things at Liverpool.
Yeah. Like you say, jump before I'm pushed, sort of thing.
I'm going to take that as my chance to leave with a bit more dignity if he gets that sorted. But the 11th thing with Liverpool is, I can't remember if it was BT or not, I think it was, they showed the table, and because Liverpool were 11th, it showed the top 11. And people have been tweeting it saying, oh, it's a funny looking top 10 because they're so desperate to get there. And
it wasn't BT's day yesterday because they were half an hour going to the game, and then the commentary went off during the game. But apparently the fans preferred it without the BT commentary.
Wow.
I see the plonker that we all know as Savage was there for BT. The guy that I remind you said, without Brendan Rodgers, Leicester will get relegated. I'll leave you with that one. Last comment, because we've got another show coming up later. We're doing the live watch along of Leicester versus Manchester City. But Brad, I want to leave you with this one. Southgate was there. Maddison dived. Yellow card. He misses the next game, but at least it's out the way. It's almost like, come on, let me just get this out of the way, get the ban against Leeds, and I'll come back for others. I'm not totally convinced it was a dive.
I'm not. It wasn't a penalty, but there's something. It's not simulation.
He was caught.
He was caught, and he probably went down more in vain than anything. But it wasn't a yellow card thing. But again, I got a bit of a chuckle from my reaction because I saw Maddison that game, and I'm sure it's cursed because I went, for fuck's sake, someone tell Southgate to go home. Because every time Southgate seems to turn up, Maddison doesn't seem. I mean, he still tried and did things really well, but like the shot in the box, that incident, thinking, go home, Southgate, because he can't do it. It's not magic when you're here.
I'm not saying that people are saying is that the end of him. I don't know if it's the end of his England chances at the moment.
It can't be the end if it's not even started, is it?
No, well, no. If Southgate looks at that, he's not going to walk away and go, yeah, all right, made my mind up. He's going to look at that and analyse it. And had we been 3-0 up, then yes, he's caught him. And if he's caught him, it's got to be a penalty. It's in the box. But if we're 3-0 up, Maddison doesn't go down, making it look worse than it is. Maddison, had he not reacted the way he did, probably wouldn't have got red carded because yellow carded because he did catch him.
He did. But, and this might be one we save for maybe a show or whatever, another time we've got a chance to squeeze it in, but I don't know. Be interesting to see now who's going to get the start. Are we going to see Dennis Pratt play on Thursday night? Because Maddison won't be there. So is he going to move Yuri up? Because if he does that, he's going to have to put somebody in that midfield, and Dennis Pratt seems to be that option that he's going to go for. So are we finally going to get at least a start from Dennis Pratt, maybe, with Maddison being suspended for it?
He'll probably put Smithers in there, let's be honest with you.
Well, yeah, you could, but you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see if, like Samore's been rewarded for a better attitude, if Dennis Pratt's going to get his reward, because he got on. It wasn't ideal, but he nearly changed the game. He did impress me, actually. He came on. So did actually all the subs did, to be fair. They livened us up a bit. But this will be it now. This will be really telling because no Maddison there.
Will be interesting to see what he does. And with Brendan, we've got no idea. We're not second guessing. Look, I don't know if you're still available for the watch along later on.
What time is the kickoff for it?
Kickoff is 2:00.
It's 2:00 kickoff, is it? Or is that what time you're kicking off here?
No, I start at 1:30. But obviously, feel free to come on and if you can do it still up until 2:00.
I should be there for that. That should be fine with me.
Don't go back to bed.
No, I'm gonna have a coffee and wake up.
I've only had a one this morning. I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't up overly early, but there we go. Hey, thanks very much for that. I will see you in an hour and a bit.
Yeah, see you then, mate.
Take care, buddy. Thanks very much. Oh, before you go, sorry, and I think we all agree with this. Sorry, the one thing I forgot to bring up, man of the match was Face.
Yeah, he was brilliant. When the frustrations and murmurs came to not close them down, he was the one that was always flying in and crunching tackle, getting the ball. The Belgian David Luiz.
You said that.
You gotta love him, haven't you? You gotta love him.
You gotta love anything Belgian. Okay, mate. Yeah. Thanks very much. See you later.
No, mate. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye. Thanks to Brad for joining us there. So we are going to be back from 1:30. I need to get off and sort out all the artworks. There's an absolutely sweet FA for it. Also, we're back tonight for the music, the radio show, mixcloud.com/LTID radio. And we are going to be, it's the intro quiz. And Dan will be taking on Kate. So that is going to be interesting. 9 o'clock, the ultimate blend of sport and music, LTID radio. Go onto the website. The links are on there. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I say we'll be back at 1:30 for the watch along. Can the women get the first win of the season? Well, they've already been beaten once this season of Manchester City women, so it's not impossible. See you then. Take care. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV. They think it's all over,